Right, hola chicas. This is the 2013 um, letter. So you've done a few of the comprehensions, which I'll get the last one correct over the weekend. So this is the 2013 option A in the letter. So here you're writing to your Spanish friend Roberto, and you have told him about you're telling him about his school. So you're going to write either a letter or an email. Okay. If you're writing a letter, you're going to have to include an address and una fecha. You're going to have to include the address and a fecha, and you're going to have to include the date. Okay, if you're writing an email, remember you're going to put in de is like you're from, a is your to, and then your asunto is your like subject. Okay, so maybe put that down at the top of the email. So if you're doing an email, you're going to like a de, a, and asunto is your subject. But if you're going to be doing a letter, you're going to have to put in like your address. So put in like your fecha. So Letterkenny, County Donegal, and La Fecha, so like el 30 de julio, whatever. Is that okay? So that's the first bit you have to put in, okay? Um, so put in like, whenever you've done this here and this here. So the key thing to remember is that remember you're writing to Roberto, so Roberto's un chico, and you have to be putting in like make sure that all the adjectives agree in the correct form as well. Is that okay? Bien. So the first thing you want to put down here is once you put in your address or your email up here, do like a little introduction. I'm just going to put this up here. So, for instance, like you can write down "Hola, Roberto," okay, or you could also use "Querido." It's an I there, "Querido Roberto," "Dear Roberto," okay. So you can use "Hola, Roberto" or "Querido Roberto," but if you're if you're going with the email, you can just use Hola. You can use Hola for both. Is that okay? Then for your little introduction, you might want to say ¿Qué tal? Okay, ¿Qué tal? How are you? And then you might use this as their like, gracias por tu correo que recibí ayer. Thank you for your email that I received yesterday. Okay, so that there can be your little introduction point then. Okay, so they can say hola Roberto or Kira Roberto. So you have your address or your topic up here, and then you're doing your little generic introduction here. Okay, gracias por tu correo que recibí ayer. So the first thing here, the first point we've got then is you're going to talk about your school. So mi colegio se llama whatever Reto Kenny. You can tell them about how many students. You can say hay 900 alumnas. Uh, hay 900 alumnas. You can't really see that, so there you'll see it there. 900. Remember that's Novecientas. 900 alumnas. You can also maybe describe who's la directora, so who's the principal. That's la directora, is the principal. Okay, la directora se llama. Yeah. You could also chat about how many teachers is. You can say hay 60 or 80 profesores. You could also chat about las instalaciones, facilities. You can say hay una sala de profesores. You can put all those details as well, okay, for what the one thing the one detail about it. Is that okay? Um, mention one thing you don't like about the school. So, for instance, you can say for the one thing you don't like, you can just say like, for instance, no me gusta, I don't like, or you can also use audio. You can, for instance, like audio uniforme or no me gusta, um, no me gusta. Uh, or you say if you don't like no me gustan los deberes. Remember, if it's more than one, you have to have an N on here. So no me gustan los deberes or whatever audio uniforme. So anything at all you think of for that there point, okay? So that's that next point. You put that onto your next point in a new paragraph, okay? Say why you study Spanish, okay? Why did you study Spanish? Well, there might be a whole pile of reasons, okay? So we're just gonna put this down here. Why did you study Spanish? So you can say, uh, so estudio, you can start off español, I study Spanish. Now, you're going to give a reason here as well. So estudio español, ¿por qué? Make this up. Yeah, estudio español. Let's go check. Okay. Estudio español porque me gusta, yeah, viajar. I like to travel y quiero ir a España. And I want to go to Spain. Yeah, quiero ir a España. Or you can say, me gusta aprender de culturas diferentes. So, me gusta aprender. So, I like to learn de culturas, or there's missing there, de culturas diferentes. I like learning about different cultures. So, any reason at all you want to put in there, okay? Explain why you would not like to be a teacher. Okay, so here now we've got the would here point here. Okay, so that's your would point here. Okay, so here you're going to say for this point here, we're going to bring this down here. You're probably going to start off this with like no me gustaría. So no me gustaría ser. There's an accent here. No me gustaría ser profesora. These are all chicas. No me gusta ser profe. I've got a blank here. Then we get profesora de español. Or you can say, no me gusta, I'm just saying you don't want to be a Spanish teacher. So, no me gusta ser profesora de español. It doesn't have to be profesora de español, it could be profesora in general, okay? So, no me gusta ser profesora, you don't need the español bit, okay? So, no me gusta ser profesora, remember, because again's por qué, es difícil, it's hard, yeah? Yeah, es difícil. Okay, it's difícil because it's hard. Or you could also say, no gana mucho dinero, you don't earn a lot of money, or anything else like along those lines. Okay. The last point that we've got here, tell him what you would like to do in the future. Okay. So this here's your in the future. So you can use this. So this is your would again. Okay. So you can say for this point here, you can say me gustaría. So here, there's a couple options here. This can be like, do you want to go to university? Do you want to go traveling? ¿Qué quieres hacer después del bachillerato? What do you want to do after? So you have loads of options here. So for instance, if you want to say, me gustaría ser, maybe tell me your dream job. Maybe me gustaría, so I'll just put this up with that. Me gustaría ser, maybe you want to be, me gustaría ser médico, or whatever. So whatever your dream job is there. X, por qué, you know, because you're giving a reason. Like, me gustaría ser médico porque quiero ayudar, uh, quiero ayudar a personas enfermas. So here you're saying, I want to be a doctor. Me gustaría ser médico porque quiero, I want to help personas enfermas, 6 people, okay? So, personas enfermas. So you have loads of different options there you can use on that there. Is that all right? The last thing I want you to do, like, put your ending down at the bottom. Write to me soon. Escríbeme pronto. And then sign your name at the bottom, okay? Uh, these points I put up here are just some ideas, okay? You don't have to use any of those points. Just use the structure. ¿Qué tal? Gracias por tu correo que recibí ayer. Maybe, you can add in a little bit extra, like, great to hear about great to hear about your news, like, estoy contento, or uh, estoy triste, maybe say you're sad or happy or whatever. Just a little generic introduction, then go into your points. So you don't have to use these, but these are just a few ideas. Tell them, why you like school, why you don't like school. Try and get as much detail as you can in here get as much detail as you can about, like, la directora se llama Sister Jair. hay 900 alumnas, chat about the facilities a little bit, and then launch into why you study Spanish. So estudio español porque me gusta viajar, I want to travel, or maybe me gusta la cultura española, all those options as well. Go on into why you wouldn't like to be a teacher, then say what you like would do in the future. So you can say me gustaría ser médico. You don't have to say your job. You can say me gustaría viajar. The last thing is at the very bottom, if you can see here, write to me, escribe in front and sign your name at the bottom. So I'll open a portal on Google Classroom for this, and hopefully you can just send it on to me. Is that okay? Muchas gracias, chicas. Oh, before I go, I'll send it. So try and send it to me as a Google Doc because it's easier for me to correct than doing it on a photograph. All right, because I can give you more feedback. Okay, gracias, chicas.